Elon is doing a great job. He's finding tremendous fraud and corruption and waste. You see it with the USAID, but you're going to see it even more so with other agencies and other parts of government. He's got a staff that's fantastic. He's wanted to be able to do this for a long time, and everybody else knew it was existent, but I think never so much. When you look at USAID, that's a fraud. The whole thing is a fraud.
The truth about government spending. What Musk and Trump are uncovering. What if I told you that billions of your tax dollars are being funneled into secret government projects, media manipulation, and even foreign coups, all under the disguise of foreign aid? That's exactly what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are exposing right now, and the establishment is in full panic mode. From funding controversial research at the Wuhan lab to bankrolling media outlets like the New York Times and Politico, the U.S. government has been operating in the shadows for years. But now, Musk is pulling back the curtain, revealing shocking details that could shake Washington to its core. This isn't just another political scandal. This could be the biggest government cover-up of our time. Musk and Trump versus the establishment. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are on a mission to uncover what they claim is one of the most corrupt government agencies in existence, USAID. Trump has called the organization a fraud and vowed to shut it down, while Musk has taken on the role of exposing massive government waste. His investigation is revealing where billions of taxpayer dollars are really going, and the establishment is scrambling to stop him. But the more they resist, the more suspicious the entire operation looks.
Is Time Magazine still in business? I didn't even know that. Elon is doing a great job. He's finding tremendous fraud and corruption and waste. You see it with the USAID, but you're going to see it even more so with other agencies and other parts of government. He's got a staff that's fantastic. He's wanted to be able to do this for a long time, and everybody else knew it was existent, but I think never so much. When you look at USAID, that's a fraud. The whole thing is a fraud. Very little being put to good use. Every single line that I look at in terms of events and transactions is either corrupt or ridiculous. And we're going to be doing that throughout government, and I think we're going to be very close to balancing budgets for the first time in many years. I think we're going to be very close to, in addition to monies coming in from tariffs, et cetera, et cetera. But no, he's doing a very good job. I'm very happy with it. If you look at what has just taken place with respect to some of the investments that have been made on another agency that people have been talking about for years, but nobody did anything about it. It's absolutely obscene, dangerous, bad, very costly. I mean, virtually every investment made is a con job. There's nothing of value to anybody unless there's a kickback scheme going on, which is possible. And we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money, Peter, being spent on things that bear no relationship to anything and have no value. We're talking about trillions of dollars. It will be, in the end, trillions of dollars being absolutely wasted, and perhaps illegally. I would say certainly in many cases illegally, but perhaps illegally overall.
Where is your money really going? What if I told you that your hard-earned tax dollars were funding projects like transgender operas in Colombia, feminist digital spaces, and propaganda campaigns in foreign countries? Leaked documents suggest that USAID has been funneling millions into questionable initiatives worldwide, raising serious concerns about its true purpose. Instead of providing humanitarian aid, it appears to be using American tax dollars to push ideological agendas in countries that have little connection to U.S. interests. One of the most shocking revelations from Musk's investigation is the extent to which USAID has been funding media organizations. Reports indicate that USAID is the second largest donor to the BBC, right behind the UK government. Meanwhile, outlets like the New York Times and Politico have also received millions in funding. This could be the biggest case of state-sponsored media manipulation in modern history, with taxpayers unknowingly financing the very outlets shaping public perception.
USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
Well, let's be specific. I love the spectrum of life. I think you can be an adherent of the spectrum of life and still respect a woman's right to choose her in reproductive health, and including when to have an abortion in the early stages of pregnancy. So I'll just say that as a Christian, I believe that that's possible, and still hold to the full spectrum of life.
Why did you want to come out here and send
their message? It is a message of a call for justice, for swift justice for George Floyd, for systemic justice for all brown and black people who have been under the knee of this country in ways that we have witnessed time and again. This is wrong. And this rising up, this spontaneous uprising of people, mostly half my age or younger, they're the ones we should be listening to.
And they're angry at the president.
They're so angry.
They're angry at the president. So what is your message to President Trump today?
Well, I've given up speaking to President Trump. We need to replace President Trump. We need leadership that will lead us in the ways that this country deserves.
Thank you.
How much money went from USAID to the work at Wuhan and to their collaborator, Ralph Barrick, at the University of North Carolina, to collect and make coronaviruses that are weaponized, that are more deadly?
So I, first of all, reject the implicit accusation in that question, and I do not have at my finger. I do not have at my fingertips the particular details of USAID.
Are you saying for certain? Are you saying for certain that no USAID money went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
The question. Go ahead.
No, please tell me. Are you stating that no USAID money went?
I am happy to take questions from those in this audience. I'm happy to answer them. I appreciate that they treat every person in this room, including myself, respectfully. I called on you. I'm now calling on someone else. Go ahead.
Treat me respectfully. Please tell me. What are you denying?
Go ahead.
What
please.
is your denial? It's a non-denial denial.
Glenn Beck also had something to say about this.
Everybody is scrutinizing EcoHealth Alliance, and they are looking at the government funding from one source, Fauci's NIH. But those funds, we have now found out, are merely a drop in the bucket compared to the total amount of U.S. tax dollars that have been given. And Peter Daszak himself has said that 80% of the funding comes from the government. So where else, beside the NIH, has money been coming from? Well, The Intercept is doing a great job, and they've obtained federal funding information from EcoHealth from 2004 to 2022. During that time, they received nearly $16 million from the Department of Health and Human Services, which includes grants from the NIH and NIAID. But I want to show you the largest sources of funding. Where are they from? By far, the largest donors are from USAID and the Department of Defense. Nearly $54 million from USAID. That is pretty tied up with the State Department. And $42 million from DOD. Why have we been focusing on HHS and Fauci? The HHS dollars at least can be explained. But USAID and the Pentagon?
A history of U.S. interference. It's no secret that the U.S. government has played a role in global regime changes. But new evidence suggests USAID was a major player in the 2014 Maidan revolution in Ukraine. Reports claim that $5 billion in USAID funding helped fuel the unrest that led to the overthrow of Ukraine's government and the installation of a pro-Western regime. This revelation raises serious questions. How many other countries have experienced U.S.-backed uprisings under the guise of foreign aid? For decades, conspiracy theorists have warned about the CIA's influence over the media through programs like Operation Mockingbird. Now, it appears USAID is operating as a modern equivalent, acting as a front for intelligence operations, media control, and foreign manipulation. Musk's findings suggest that this agency isn't just wasting money, it's actively shaping global politics while keeping the American people in the dark.
The simple argument that people have made is that what USAID does is fund insurgent groups, activist groups in various countries.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever heard about the Tales of an Economic Hit? What is it? Tales of from an Economic Hitman? Famous story.
Yeah.
You can watch the interview or read the book. Basically, this guy says what we would do is we go to a country and we say, hey, we're going to give you international aid. We're going to give you development. We're going to put billions of dollars into your infrastructure, roads, stores. We're going to bring in McDonald's. We're going to bring in, Starbucks, whatever. Not specifically those, but that's, if the country said no, they would then say, okay, you want to play it the hard way? We'll play it the hard way. They would then try to fund opposition politicians to change or overthrow the government. If that did not work, invasion or assassination. Or I'm sorry, if what was it? Yeah, if that didn't work, they would try to take the politician out in one way or another, and then it would ultimately lead to invasion. So that's like Iraq, Saddam Hussein, and Libya with Gaddafi. I'm not saying any of that's true. That's what's been alleged.
I think it's true because
yeah.
We would have, and again, this was when I was at the State Department, but just being in the foreign aid agencies, so we would have people coming to our office that would allege that. Especially, I remember one guy from Macedonia. He would come in. I can't remember where he was in their government, but he was some elected official, and he's like, please stop your government.
Whoa.
Please stop your government from trying to overthrow ours. Please. I beg of you. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly what happened because we were so overwhelmed. And like I said, there was no top cover. We had Tillerson, who was fired pretty early, and then Pompeo, who was useless. So we were unable to really do anything. But yes,
you saw this man say this?
Oh yeah, he came into our office, and I can't remember his name. But
is this like classified stuff? It sounds like you're in trouble.
No, it's not classified. But because it's all public. I mean, it's all tax dollars.
There are riots it's called the Maidan Rebellion in Ukraine, which we're not told that we are financing those riots. The newspapers never told us. Our government never told us. USAID, which is a CIA front, put $5 billion into funding those riots. Those riots lead to a coup d'etat against the first democratically elected government of the Ukraine. It was a government that refused to choose sides and to say we're going to be on the side of the West. So we wanted them out. A month before that government is overthrown, Victoria Nuland, who's the part of the centerpiece of the neocon ideology and who is now a high-level official in the State Department, has a secret call with the U.S. ambassador, which is tape recorded and is now public, which anybody can go and look up, where she is picking the new cabinet for the Ukraine, which is which is a U.S. Western cabinet. So they're picking the new government a month before the old government is overthrown.
Is that how democracy when Victoria Nuland picks her government?
Well, that's the point. Is USAID doesn't really do, and the CIA don't do democracy. The CIA has overthrown, I think, 83 governments between 1947 and 1997. That's a third of the governments on Earth, and most of them were democracies.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework. Clearly, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart. And the danger in the lack of intelligence and the lack of expertise that Elon has. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we really know of. But But the point is that what that means is that they're going to hit a button inevitably. They are going to hit a button.
The establishment's panic. As Musk continues exposing government corruption, the backlash from political elites has been swift. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has publicly warned against Musk's actions, while Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has gone on the offensive, questioning his intelligence. But here's the real question. If they have nothing to hide, why are they so desperate to stop Musk's investigation? Their panic alone suggests that something much bigger is at stake.